Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, we are going to be forging a $50 rosette wall hook. $50 you might ask? Wow Roy, that price is crazy. I think you could get at least $200 for it. Yes, you would be correct. Okay, maybe not $200, but you could definitely get $50 for this hook if you play your cards right and you speak nice, softly, and sweetly to somebody. Okay, all joking aside, this is a great little rosette hook that we're going to be making. They're fairly easy to make, and depending on how elaborate you can do them, you will get up to about $50 for them. It's a great market price, and again, it's just one more tool you can add to your repertoire. So we started with a piece of 1/4 inch by 1 inch flat stock, 4 inches long, or 6 mil by 25 mil by 100 mil long. And in the opening clip, I butchered in and necked down this little bit with the guillotine tool. That is just to take and save time. If you do not have a guillotine tool to butcher in like that with, you can do this at the edge of the anvil. Just take your time and it'll work just fine as well. You just want to take and create a cube of material, or roughly 1 inch square or 25 mil square on the flower bloom end itself. So I'm going to stick that back in the fire. We're going to get this nice and hot, and we will continue to draw out this piece. Once we've got most of the hook in drawn out, we're going to pause. We're going to flip it around before we forge it too thin, and actually do the hook portion, and we're going to work on the actual flower bloom. It's important to kind of go back and forth on a project like this so you don't get too far along. If you're making a bunch of these at once, say you've got an order of 10 of them to do, you want to take and bring each part up to the same process. So when you're butchering, when you got your guillotine tool on here, put them all in, get them all guillotined at exactly the same time. That'll make sure that they're all correct. You've got everything lined up right. Put it back in the fire, then do all your drawing out work at one time to the first stage, then flip them all around, do all your bloom work, and then flip it around and finish off your hook, and then be done with it. This is the most efficient way that I have found to work quantifiable items or batch items, and it's the quickest way for you to make the most money for your time in the shop, and so it would pay to listen to that advice. If you don't listen to anything else Roy says today, at least listen to that. Now you can create smaller or larger hooks depending on need. So you don't have to start with 4 inches of material if you don't want to do this much drawing out. You'll also can charge a little lighter price for smaller hooks. That'll still be able to serve the function for your client. Okay, got that all cleaned up. Now, before we go and thin this down too much, it is time to work on the flower bloom. So we'll get that nice and heated back up. We're going to switch from our forging hammer, put that down, and we're going to pick up our saw face hammer because we are going to take and be doing some chisel work and other work. So the tools that you're going to be needing for this job is you're going to need a round ball punch. Now you can either choose to do 3/8 inch round ball punch or a 1/2 inch round ball punch. If you don't have either of these, you can do a ball peen. Whack a ball peen hammer with a saw face hammer, not a hardened hammer, and that will help draw out material. Or if you have ball punches, you can use those. The ideal is we're going to separate out the petals, and then we're going to go from there. So I'm probably going to go with this 1/2 inch ball punch. Nah, you know what? I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to stick with my original plan. I'm going to go with my 3/8 inch ball punch here. that you see. Put a tong clip on my holder here. You're good to go. It's almost up to temp. It's a good thing. Grab this. We'll put a little bit of a clamp on it as well, a tong clip. And we're just going to aim for the corners of the piece first. So start in, just in from the corner, and then aim out to the outside edge. That pushes this material where you need it. And it's going to give it a very much like a flower bloom look. You guys have seen me do this before in my rosette videos, and that's basically what we're creating here. We're just creating a rosette. All right. So we got that done there, or we've got it started anyhow. So now that that's started, we're going to heat it back up, and we're going to take and thin those out the rest of the way, and then we will switch to a cold chisel. So we'll use a cold chisel to take and chisel in between those bulged out areas to give our flower a little bit of separation. And then last but not least, we will come into the center and we will use a 1/4 inch round eyeball punch. So we're going to come in here, drive this material out a little bit more on this side, drive this material out a little more on that side, some on that side, some on that side. That's good to go. We'll come with our chisel, find the center. We're going to give our, you don't have to come all the way to center with this. In fact, it's good if you don't. You just want it to take and give it the impression that it is cut out, or that there's some separation to the petals. And then last but not least, we're going to give it a little bit of separation right in here. And one quick hit like that to give ourselves a little bit of separation. So I'll come back in and clean this up just a bit more. Take your time with this, get things square. This is the decoration portion, so we want that to look nice. So there we go, got that done. So I'm hoping you guys can see if you do several of these at once, you can do them fairly rapid succession, and that makes these a fun little hook to create, because we're already on to the eyeball punch, and it's this rosette in that really sells the piece or sells the ironwork. The more time you take, obviously for this demonstration, I'm not taking as much time as I probably should. I had a few little, crooked lines and stuff, but it's fine for this demonstration. If you take a little more care with it, it'll come out looking a lot better. All right, coming in here again, got an eyeball punch, right dead center of the piece. There we go. And now we got that nice little rosette formed. Move that all out of the way. We're going to pick up our hand hammer again. Just want to straighten this out. We're not trying to hammer on the bloom too much. We just want to straighten the bloom out a little bit. And there we go. That's how you do it. So I did a chisel line across here to give the flower, to make it look like it's separated. And then I did chisel marks in, not quite to center. So this way when I forged in my round, the round center portion of the flower, it looks a lot nicer. So now that we've got that done, now it's time to flip this whole piece around again, yet again. And we're going to take this thing back up to a nice heat, and we're going to forge out the rest of the shank of the hook and turn it actually up into the hook now. This is where it's important to kind of go back and forth like this, because what you end up with is, you work back and forth and you protect the different areas of the material while you're working it. If we would have started with a really thin hook end, like with all scrolled up, then you're trying to grab around this weird hook. That's not too nice. If you forge something too thin, or say, like if we started with the bloom first and then try to do all the separation and all this other stuff, then we would have been working that flower to death. Versus putting things in the right order will allow you to protect the piece as you're going about forging on it, to where it won't become an issue later on and create you problems down the road as far as things breaking off and things like that. So now I'm going to thin this hook down. And as you're going to see, this is just a flat hook. We're not trying to go for a square taper on this. We just want that to be nice and flat. And clean that up. We're almost there. As thin as I'm wanting to go with it anyhow. Let's see if I can find my... Nope, that's not it. So looking over here for my 1/4 inch, but I don't see it, so I'll just end up drilling these holes. That'll be a little bit easier than having to punch them right now. Obviously, if it's still hot, you can go ahead and punch them. Drilling them works too. It's just a different method. Do what you like to do. Thinning this whole piece down. We want to go nice and thin out towards the end. Clean up our forging a little bit. Some planishing blows. If you made it to this far in the video, say, I like flowers. Secret passcode. Anyways, so there you have it. That's all nice and thinned out. Now it's time to take and do something with this end. We're going to take and roll it the one way, and we're going to roll this back and turn it into a hook. So get that hot one more time. As you can see, this is a very simple hook to make. And if you do enough of them and you find the right marketplace for them or get known for them, you will be able to take and use this to great advantage to be able to make your hourly wage or your hourly rate that you need to make in order to support your family. And it's just one simple item. It's a simple tool that you can add to the arsenal, and I'm glad I could take and show you it. Hopefully you'll find it helpful and that it'll really take and help you out there. And as you can see, this is all done at the anvil. I've used a few specialty tools, but not that many, just to make it a little nicer on time. But again, if you're going to be making this many hooks, if you're going to be making hooks for a living, you need to have some special tooling to save you on time as well. Just like I'm trying to save a little bit of time in the demonstration process, so you guys can see in real time how long this takes. Just like that, you need to take and have some special tools at your disposal to make these hooks. I highly suggest, if you're going to be making hooks for a living, you find ways of jigging up or having jigs and things like that. They will help you out greatly, and I just can't recommend them enough, really. So for this, I'm going to use a little bending fork. This is a no-weld bending fork. We made this in another video. I'll link to it right up here in the cards and in the description down below. And this will make the bending of this hook a nice dream. It'll make things just so much easier. So we're going to go hook this right in here. And we're going to just give it a little bit of a torque right on around. Give it this nice walk around. Again, you want to make your hook however you like. I like my hooks to definitely look like a J when I get done with them. Give it a little square up, make sure everything's in line. You can just do this right over the horn of the anvil if you want. But if you're making a bunch of them and they all got to be alike, exactly alike for a client, you'll want to do that as well. Get rid of that off the anvil and give it a brush. So real quick before I leave you all, some coating options that you can do. These are really great to use a natural finish or wax coating or oil coating, do like a beeswax finish. You could do some vegetable oil or something of that nature. Also, this is a perfect candidate if you want to do a little painting or a little faux painting. I could show you guys that in the future, maybe in another video, where you paint the iron bloom a little bit and then, you know, kind of get it to play off stuff. Also, another great way you can highlight this hook is just go ahead and give it that standard brass brushing. Give it the brass brushing on the flower bloom portion. That's a nice, great way of ornamentating this hook without, you know, having to go into any sort of crazy painting scheme or anything like that. And those are just some options you have to finish a hook like that. All right, so without further ado, there you go. There's your $50 rosette hook made in 17 minutes flat for you here on YouTube explaining it. You could probably get that done a little quicker, probably within 15 minutes a hook. So not too bad for making a shop rate of about $50 an hour. You can definitely make that shop rate if you made about 3 or 4 of these hooks in an hour, and you'd be doing pretty good. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to support this type of content, share it around with your friends. That greatly helps this channel grow. And if you got any questions for me, check them in the comment section down below. Love to get back with you. If you'd like to support this channel financially and everything I do here, Jessica and I do on Christ Center Ironworks, here to take and share this type of information around, you know, consider checking out our website, blacksmithpdfs.com. We've got all sorts of templates and ebooks to help you build your business as a blacksmith. So that's it for today. As always, God bless you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.